Hello everyone, my name is Sanjeev Sharma. I'm the IBM Worldwide Technical Sales Lead for DevOps, and this is another video I'm making on the topic of DevOps. If you've seen my video before, I highly recommend you that you do. It's on understanding DevOps, and in that I explain what DevOps is. So in today's video, I'm not going to spend too much time introducing DevOps, but the topic of today's video is that, okay, I know what DevOps is, I've heard about it, I've got somewhat of an understanding, but where do I start? Based on my organization, based on my company's needs, on my project's needs, maybe you're just looking at within the lens of a domain of a project, where do I start? So let's talk about that. But let's kind of refresh our memory, right? What is DevOps? DevOps is how do I get an idea, a feature, an enhancement request, something new I'm making out to production so that my customers, or maybe a customer surrogate, somebody who's representing the customer because you can't get it out to the customer every time, is using it and giving you feedback. And based on that feedback, you can improve what it is you're delivering. And you actually improve three things every time. The first thing you improve is the software that you're delivering. You delivered something, customers use it, they say, the user interface isn't good, or this functionality can be enhanced in such a way, you can improve it. Second thing you improve is the environment to which you're delivering. So based on the operational efficiency of the environment, based on how it performed, based on how the application performed, running on that environment, you can improve the environment itself, maybe the infrastructure. And third is based on that feedback, you can improve the process with which you delivered the software and the infrastructure. And because there's always room for improvement, you can improve how your dev and QA teams collaborated better, how the production handoff happened. All of this can be continuously improved. And when you get to a level of high efficiency, then you have the ability to do what we call innovation, right? You can do several small releases and come up with new kinds of capabilities, test them out in the market. Some companies do what is known as A/B testing, where they're trying out 2 or 3 different variants of their new features at the same time with different groups of customers, and based on that feedback, deciding which one to roll out. But all that is the end result. But where do you start? So what you got to look at when you're starting it is your entire ecosystem. Now, how wide you go or how narrow you go depends upon what you're looking at, right? If you're just looking at a project, then you look at the ecosystem of the project, your software delivery lifecycle of the project. If you're looking at a program, then you look at it from a program perspective, or maybe a division, or if you're fortunate enough and brave enough, for your entire company, your entire enterprise. So out here, when you look at where do these enhancement requests or features come from, there's probably a line of business out there, or some marketing people, or somebody who owns the business, the product owners, who are giving you input. These are also the people who eventually triage the feedback which is coming and decide how to act on that feedback. These people are key stakeholders in adopting DevOps. And then down here you got the actual stakeholders, the developers, the build engineers, the QA practitioners, your integration testers, user testers, the operations people who aren't just in production, operations people own all these environments, and all of them need to collaborate together. All of these are different environments you have. You have your dev environment, your build environment, your QA environment, SIT, which is system integration test, user acceptance test. Your terms which you use in your company might be different. There'll definitely be more than one of these based on every different kind of application or variant of application you're building. You might have different kinds. Maybe you deploy to more than one platform. You'll have a QA environment representing each platform. Maybe you do parallel development, so there are multiple streams of development going on. So there'll be each environment existing for each stream. And your target environments might vary also. It's not just a singular monolithic environment you deploy to. So what you have to do is look at all these environments and look at how handoffs happen from people to people, and how delivery happens of the software and the configuration changes from one environment to the next. And what you need to look at is develop automated delivery, or what we call continuous delivery, the capability of continuous delivery, which I've discussed in another video, which you can look at and understand what continuous delivery is. What you have to understand here is that there is not just the physical aspect of deploying software from one environment to the next, there is also the collaboration and the handoff which happens between these stakeholders all the way to the end. This collaboration and building of trust, building of communication between these stakeholders, and making sure they're all on the same page, making sure they have access to the same assets and the same data based on which they can act, is a very, very critical part of DevOps. So where do you start? You take a holistic view at all of this, and you decide where are your biggest pain points. Is your biggest pain point in how you build? Is your biggest pain point in source code configuration management? Is your biggest pain point in deploying to QA because QA environments take too long to deploy? Test data is not available as needed. Maybe the QA environment is shared and it's not available when you need it. I'm just pointing out symptoms, yours will be different. And maybe the final mile, what we call the final delivery to production, which is causing you trouble. And you look at how you can address those, how you can improve efficiency and communication and build trust between these teams and standardization of deployment processes so that this process of delivery can be done over and over again. Now I leave you with one final note. Your project is not monolithic. In the early stages of your process, it will have different needs from later stages in your process. Your program or your division is not monolithic. Projects which are mobile related, very high velocity projects will be very different. What are called system of engagement projects will be very different from projects which are maybe on the mainframe or large system of record kind of applications. Same way you as a company are not monolithic, right? One division might be far ahead in its maturity compared to other divisions. Take that into consideration, keep that in mind as you do this analysis. We at IBM can help you. We have a maturity model with which we can come in and do an assessment of your needs and help you identify which are the capabilities you have gaps in, where we can help you move up the maturity scale by recommending a roadmap of adoption of practices, of communication and organizational change to a certain extent, and also the tooling behind it to help you improve. To learn more about it, I recommend you go to ibm.com/DevOps. I also wrote a book called DevOps for Dummies. You can go to ibm.co/DevOps for Dummies, all lowercase, to check that book out. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.